Ladies and gentlemen, would you please help me welcome National Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Mr. Pat Little.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Get that script out of your way there. There you go. All yours.
All right. A lot of you guys out there are going to be impressed with this young man. It's an honor for me to be able to read his bio and introduce you to Aaron Menken. On May 11, 2005, while deployed in Iraq, Marine Corporal Aaron P. Mankin was wounded. The 26-ton amphibious assault vehicle he was traveling in rolled over in an improvised explosive device. As a result, Corporal Mankin suffered intense burns on 25% of his body. He also lost 2 fingers. His ears, nose, and mouth were so severely burned they were essentially gone. 2 years after the accident, Corporal Mankin became the first patient at UCLA's Operation Mend. The nonprofit organization offers reconstructive surgery to veterans who have been severely disfigured in the line of duty. Mankin has undergone well over 60 surgeries and countless procedures in the 9 years since the accident. Throughout his recovery, Menken has remained a passionate advocate of supporting wounded service members as well as a spokesman for Operation Mend, the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, and the Iraqi-Afghanistan Veterans of America. Through those organizations and his diligence, he's addressed and stimulated significant changes on a national level with issues such as VA backlog, veteran suicide, and veterans preference bills in his home state of Arkansas. Corporal Menken's resilient spirit has been recognized by a number of prestigious organizations. In 2008, he was awarded the George Van Cleve Military Leadership Award and named Marine of the Year by the USO. The following year, he was named one of People's Magazine's Heroes of the Year and was inducted into the Impact Player Partners Hall of Fame. Corporal Mankin conferred with the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, on matters affecting wounded veterans. In 2012, he was invited to the White House State Dinner to represent over 1 million veterans who have served in Operation Iraq Freedom and Operation New Dawn. In 2013, he was honored by the Rogers Public Education Foundation in his hometown as an outstanding graduate by being inducted into the organization's Wall of Distinction. Menken's inspiring story has been shared on The Today Show, Anderson Cooper 360, ABC's Dateline with Bob Woodruff, The Don Imus Show, The Rachel Maddow Show, and the National Public Radio and Paul Harvey Radio. He has also appeared in People Magazine, CQ Magazine, and Best Life Magazine. Now in his 10th year of recovery, Menken resides in hometown in Rogers, Arkansas, with his 2 children, Madeline and Hunter. On your tables, when there are no tables, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Corporal Aaron Menken.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Pat, Madam Mayor, to our color guard, to Billy, everybody taking care of us this evening. Wow. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be anywhere. Really, I say that to a lot of people. I know you get that, right? Come a long way. I'm blessed in everything that I do, everywhere that I go. A part of my life now is people want to stop me and say thank you. Everywhere I go, people want to say thank you. And those thank yous, that gratitude, it manifests itself in a multitude of ways, be it shaking my hand or hugging my neck or buying me a beer or fixing my nose. I'm blessed. And my time that I have with you this weekend, I hope to have the opportunity to share with you stories from the past decade of my recovery, my time in Iraq. But not just that one day, not just that one moment. And if I could make one correction, being a combat correspondent, being a journalist in the Marine Corps, I like to edit things. It's the divine right of man to edit another man's copy, is what we said in the pit. And here in the introduction, there's two notes there, is when Pat mentioned after the accident. There was an accident. How much of my life I spent now explaining the difference between an accident and an incident. What happened to me, where I was, what happened to my brothers, was no accident. We were attacked. And we survived, most of us. And I'll share more of that story with you and the time that I have with you tomorrow night. I just think of how far I've come so far and how far I have yet to go and how much I appreciate and thank an audience like this one who gets me, who understands. I don't feel like I have to explain myself. We're just connected. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the bond that we have as brothers and sisters who have served and in many ways always serving. That's our life now. That's who we are. Thankful. I'll share with you a quick story from my recovery. I was in the burn unit. Several weeks had gone by. I just stepped out of the ICU and was receiving family, some guests for the first time. And my little brother and sister, Jacob and Maggie, were coming to the hospital to see me. And I hadn't seen them since I deployed. And I left the house a fit Marine. And there I was in the burn gym, having lost 40 pounds, covered in bandages, and scared to death of what they would think of me. And I remember I had the time there with my little brother, and I sat there with Jake, and I just had to know, I just had to ask him. I said, Jake, do you still think Bubba's as big and strong? And I mean, do you still look at me the same way? Yeah. Give it very little thought. I said, well, I needed more of an answer than that, so I pressed him a little bit. I said, well, why is that? So he thought about it. You could see him kind of formulated answers. His eyes shifted in his head, and he looked up at me, and he said, well, they tried to blow you up, and they couldn't. True. I'll take that. And ever since that day, I've changed my attitude toward recovery, toward perseverance. I didn't see this coming. I never anticipated being a wounded veteran for the rest of my life, wearing a Purple Heart. Every day I say I don't get to take my uniform off. I wear it everywhere I go. And I'm thankful for that. Opportunities just like this in everyday life. It's great. It's great. I'm blessed. Everyone wants to say thank you. And I tell you, I get away with stuff all the time. Speeding tickets are a thing of the past, right? We pulled over. Officer, how you doing? Have a good day. Okay, you too. All right. It's considered patriotic to buy me a beer. Okay, all right. I'll take that. Come on. Right? In airports, I can talk about bombs all I want to. Right? You know, so on a plane, tell you a story. It's okay. It's all right. Just that one time. Just that one time. There I was. We all have those there I was moments, those there I was stories. Some are better than others. But no less important. The ones that shape us, that mold us, that make us who and what we are. I've got to do a lot of traveling, a lot of meeting people and being a part of important things that help determine our future and the future of our country. Blessed. Never thought I'd be meeting presidents or princes when I enlisted. Never thought that would be part of my life. But it's great. You just take those stories and you put it in your pocket. I'll be pulling them out all weekend while I'm with you. I'll share one with you about when I met President Bush. We were in New York City and we were commissioning the USS New York, about to set sail for the first time, and we were adjacent to the USS Intrepid, Sea, Air, and Space Museum there in New York. And I remember I walked on deck to the lower level where the little VIP reception was, and people were doing little breakfast stuff, and I was trying to get away from the cold. This was near Veterans Day. It's November of 2010, and I walk in. I didn't really know anybody. I was with my best friend, Travis, and started looking around and saw Barbara Walters standing over in the corner. I thought, oh, she's a journalist. I'm a journalist. Well, I'll go introduce myself. So I did. I walked up to her, Barbara Walters. I said, I'm Corporal Mankin. How you doing? Nice to meet you. She said, oh, have you met the president yet? Well, there was a line, and he's all curtained off, and Secret Service was all cufflinks. They were everywhere. So we'll wait for the line to die down. She said, oh, nonsense. Come with me. Come on, let's go. So next thing I know, my best friend and I are in a full-blown Barbara Walters sandwich, just marching through the curtain to go see the president and the first lady. And we go through, and she starts hitting him up for an interview. Oh, he's like, I don't know, you got me that last time. And I thought I was going to meet the president. Well, it turns out I met W, right? You all know W, right? W. W. Good to meet you, W. Good guy, right? I remember on his campaign trail, people said, oh, yeah, I could see myself having a beer with this guy. After meeting him, I totally get that. I could totally see that. Because he went from a place of being presidential to just being a person. And we connected, and I remember he shook my hand, and he met the president for the first time. He turned to me, and he shook my hand, and he placed a coin in my hand, and he said, wow, you look like hell. Yeah, but I'm sure you're feeling better, and glad you're home, and if you ever need anything. And he was so endearing. He was such a surprise to have that moment with him and walk away feeling like that moment meant something to him as much as it did to me. Several months later, he called me to just check in, just checking in. Phone ring, stand by for the president, just checking in. Okay. Trying to get the kids to quiet down. Hey, shh, shh, right? I think I was in the middle of trying to put my face on, literally, right? And my ears glued on. And actually, at that moment, I remember earlier that morning, I was getting ready, and my son Hunter, he was probably about 3 at the time, and he'd come up and give me a hug in the morning, and he'd see my ears sitting there and run off with it, right? So now he's running through the house. I'm standing at the top of the stairs in my underwear yelling at my 3-year-old, you get back here with Daddy's ear right now. Right now. Oh, I know you heard me. You got 3 years. I know you heard me. Right? Right? He knows. But this opportunity we have this weekend to connect and share stories and build what we have here, to take the opportunity that Branson has given us to grow closer to one another. I'm anxious for that opportunity. I'm anxious for the time that we have together because I've been looking forward to this, and I couldn't be more thankful. So for the time we have here, I hope we all get to make the most of it. And tomorrow night, I hope we have a great time at the banquet. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you. And again, I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.